What if I told you the man who gave light to the world failed more than 1,000 times before succeeding? This is the story of Thomas Edison, the inventor who turned failure into brilliance. Born in 1847, Thomas Alva Edison wasn't seen as extraordinary. In fact, his early life was marked by challenges. After only a few months of formal schooling, his teachers labeled him as addled and difficult because his mind often wandered. Hearing this, his mother, a former teacher herself, pulled him out of school and decided to homeschool him. This unconventional path turned out to be a blessing. It allowed young Edison's boundless curiosity to flourish, free from the rigid structures of a classroom that didn't understand him. He devoured books, especially those on science, and began conducting his own experiments in the basement of his family home. From a young age, he wasn't just learning, he was doing. He set up a small chemical laboratory and taught himself the principles of telegraphy. His journey was never about innate, recognized talent. It was about an insatiable curiosity and relentless persistence. Even as a teenager, Edison's entrepreneurial spirit shone through. He started his own small business selling newspapers and candy on trains. But he didn't just sell goods. He set up a printing press in a baggage car and published his own newspaper, the Grand Trunk Herald. This early venture taught him about business, innovation, and the importance of meeting a public need. However, it was his fascination with technology that truly set his path. A near-deafness, which he developed in childhood, didn't hold him back. Instead, he claimed it helped him concentrate, shutting out distractions and allowing him to focus intensely on his work. This ability to turn a perceived weakness into a strength would become a hallmark of his entire career. His early life wasn't a story of a child prodigy, but of a determined young man who learned by doing, who wasn't afraid to get his hands dirty, and who let his curiosity lead the way even when others doubted him. When Edison set his sights on inventing a practical, long-lasting electric light bulb, he wasn't the first to try. Scientists had been working on the concept for decades, but no one had managed to create a filament that was both affordable and durable enough for commercial use. The challenge seemed insurmountable. Edison embarked on this quest with his characteristic determination, establishing a full-fledged research and development lab in Menlo Park, New Jersey. This wasn't just a workshop, it was an invention factory, a place where systematic experimentation was the daily routine. This is where the legend of the 1,000 failures was born. Edison and his team tested an incredible array of materials for the filament, everything from platinum to various plant fibers. They tried bamboo, cedar, and even hairs from a friend's beard. Each test was a meticulous process of trial and error. Experiment after experiment ended in disappointment. Filaments would burn out in seconds or minutes if they were lucky. The pressure was immense. Financial backers were growing impatient, and the public, fueled by newspaper headlines, eagerly awaited a breakthrough that seemed like it might never come. Most people would have quit. The sheer volume of setbacks would have broken the spirit of any ordinary person. Not 10, not 100, but over 1,000 failed attempts. But here's what set Edison apart. He didn't see these attempts as failures. When a reporter asked him how it felt to fail so many times, he famously retorted, "I have not failed. I've just found 1,000 ways that won't work." This mindset is the core of his genius. For him, every burnt-out filament wasn't a dead end. It was a valuable piece of data. It was progress. He was systematically eliminating possibilities, getting closer and closer to the one solution that would work. He understood that innovation is not a single flash of brilliance, but a grueling process of elimination. Each failure was a necessary step on the path to success, a lesson learned that guided his next move. His lab wasn't a place of despair, it was a place of discovery, where each misstep brought them 1 inch closer to their goal. Finally, after relentless testing and a year of intense work, the breakthrough came. On October 22, 1879, Edison and his team tested a carbonized cotton thread filament. They watched, holding their breath as it glowed. It didn't burn out in a minute. It didn't flicker out after an hour. It continued to burn brightly for over 13 hours. They had done it. The practical incandescent light bulb was born. But Edison knew the invention itself wasn't enough. To truly light up the world, he needed to create an entire system to support it. Generators, wiring, sockets, switches. So he did. On September 4, 1882, he flipped a switch at his Pearl Street station in Manhattan, and an entire square mile of New York City was illuminated by electric light. For the first time in history, humanity wasn't limited by daylight. Cities, homes, and businesses glowed with a safe, reliable light. This invention didn't just brighten rooms, it transformed civilization. It extended the workday, made streets safer at night, and paved the way for the modern electrical grid that powers our lives today. Edison's success wasn't just in the lab, it was in bringing his vision to the world on a grand scale. Edison's genius, however, didn't stop with the light bulb. His mind was a perpetual motion machine of ideas. He went on to file an astonishing 1,093 U.S. patents in his lifetime. He gave us the phonograph, the first device to record and play back sound, which he called his favorite invention. This magical device stunned the world and earned him the nickname, the Wizard of Menlo Park. He pioneered motion pictures, creating the kinetoscope, a precursor to the movie projectors that would give birth to the film industry. His work on storage batteries was foundational for electric vehicles, and his improvements to the telegraph and telephone were critical to the communications revolution. But perhaps his greatest contribution wasn't any single invention, it was his method. The industrial research laboratory he established at Menlo Park was a revolutionary concept, a place dedicated solely to practical invention and improvement, bringing together brilliant minds to work collaboratively. He showed the world that innovation could be a systematic, disciplined process. More than that, he left us with a powerful mindset that persistence is the true engine of success. He demonstrated that challenges are not roadblocks, but opportunities to learn, and that the path to a breakthrough is paved with the stones of countless experiments. So, the next time you face a challenge or feel the sting of what seems like failure, remember Thomas Edison. He failed over 1,000 times before lighting up the world. His story proves that failure is not the opposite of success. It's a fundamental part of the journey toward it. It's the data you collect on your way to a breakthrough. So when life feels dark, when your own experiments aren't working, remember his relentless spirit. Keep going, keep trying, keep learning. Because sometimes it takes 1,000 failures to find that one spark that changes everything. Thank you for watching. If this story inspired you, please give this video a like, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe for more stories of success. We'll see you in the next one.